When I first look at a dataset, I typically use sorting. Making your first initial cuts of a new dataset using sorting can really tell you a lot about a dataset. Let's give it a try. Right now, our ledger is listed in order of transaction date. Let's say we wanted to sort it by items instead, so we can see the purchases of each items grouped together. The simple way to sort a list is to right-click on it, go to Sort, and then choose A to Z or Z to A, meaning alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. I'm going to select A to Z, and now we see that Excel has properly sorted column B in alphabetical order. This is a good way to sort. However, I do not believe this method of sorting is as precise as we might want it to be. Let me show you an example of why this might be. Let's say we entered in a data point just to the right of our table. Now, if I went to sort this data once again by, say, date, using the right click, choosing sort, and then choosing oldest to newest, we see that the data point has moved along with our sorting. It's now found here in row 22. Let's first undo what we just did with Control Z. Okay, now we're back. There's two ways to prevent this from happening. The first is to add a white space between this new data and old data. So I'm going to use Control X to cut and Control V to paste. So now there's one column of space between this list and this data point. Now, if I try to go and sort it once again, right-clicking, choosing Sort, and choosing oldest to newest, we see that this data point stays exactly where we put it. I'm going to undo this again with Control Z. And now I'm going to show you the second method to prevent this data from moving with all the rest of your data. My preferred method is to put filters on all of the columns that we want to sort because that allows us to specify which ones we want to move and which ones we don't. To put filters on our table, let's first highlight all of the columns on our table, go to the Home tab of the ribbon, go to Sort and Filter, and choose Filter. We can see that this action has inserted these small little down arrows across all of our columns. This is how we know filters were successfully placed on our table. Now, instead of right-clicking on the data of our table, we can just click the down arrow. And now we have all of our sorting and filtering options here. And now, if we sort, say, oldest to newest, we see that this data point stays stationary, because the table data moves independently of the point to the right of the table, because we can see that our filters are only on these columns. Filters allow us to specify exactly which columns we want sorted and which we do not. I think that it's best practice to place filters on the data that you want to sort in Excel. I recommend this because all of the sorting functionalities that Excel has here are pretty much offered in the filter to begin with. One other thing I want to point out is that based on the data type in the column, Excel gives you different sorting options. So for this item column, we get A to Z and Z to A, but for our date, we actually get oldest to newest and newest to oldest. Whereas on our price, we get largest to smallest and smallest to largest. If I sorted my sales amount column from smallest to largest, one thing I immediately notice is that some of the points on the sales ledger have 0 for sales amount, even though the quantity sold is non-zero. These are either mistakes in our ledger or discounts that were given to employees, and we should remove them from the dataset to have a more accurate picture. This is a perfect example of the insight you can gather from sorting your data, by spotting outliers and giving you an idea of what actions you might need to take on the dataset down the road. Sorting can also be done on multiple levels. Let's say I first sort my sales amount from largest to smallest, and then I sort my categories A to Z. We see that the largest sales amount in each category are listed at the top of each section. So the sales amount are highest at the top of the can section, and if we scroll to dry, the largest transactions are listed at the top. This might be a helpful view if you're trying to understand the best sellers by product category. You could get an even more granular view by sorting by sales amount and then sorting by item. And then at the top of each section are the largest purchases by item. So the largest purchase for an apple was $9.90. These are all cuts that might be helpful as we try to decide what to do next with the data. Sorting by multiple criteria is called multi-level sorting. Make sure that you pay attention to the order in which you sort your columns. Since we sorted by sales amount and then by item, the list is sorted by items, but within each of the items, it's sorted by sales amount. I can also create a custom list in Excel. Let's say I wanted to sort by category here, but the order I want to sort in is not necessarily in alphabetical order, which are the two options that are given here. To sort by a custom list, go to the Home tab of the ribbon, Sort and Filter, and choose Custom Sort, or use the shortcut Alt-H-SU. Now I can specify which column I want to sort by. Let's sort by the category column here. Next, I can choose which value I want to sort on, the cell values, the cell color, the font color, or the conditional formatting icon. Since we want to create a custom sort by the category name, let's just stick with cell values. Now, when it comes to order, we don't want to choose A to Z or Z to A, but custom list because we want to sort it by our own order. Now, inside of this dialog box, we have the opportunity to specify our order in this list entries. All we have to do is specify our order here, and then separate each item with a comma. Let's say I wanted to sort it in this order: dry, comma, canned, comma, produce, comma, and poultry. This looks good to me, so I click the Add button, and now we have a custom list to sort by. Just click OK, and now we see our order is listed with our custom list. Click OK, and now we can see that our sales ledger has been properly ordered in the way that we specified. One last thing for sorting I want to show you is sorting by color. Let's give this cell a color, for example, just this yellow. And if we wanted to sort by color, all we would have to do is go into the filter for that column, go sort by color, and then choose the color that we want to sort by. Now, Excel has properly sorted our list by color.